Good evening and welcome to Piscataway. This is Monday, April 8th, and we're on the air live. If you'd like to speak with me or my guests, please call us at any time during this hour-long program at 732-562-2305. Our guests tonight are Councilwoman at Large Chanelle McCullum and Piscataway Township's Recreation Director John Tierney. Chanelle McCullum is an at-large council member and has served as 2 terms as council president. She has been employed by Merck for 23 years. Chanelle has a doctorate degree in pharmacy from Shenandoah University and a Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy from Howard University. She is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc., and currently serves on the Municipal Alliance Committee and also the Housing and Community Development Committee, and is a Sterling Village Board of Trustee member. And welcome back to the show, Chanelle.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor.
John Tierney is our Recreation Director and is a graduate of the University of Nebraska, and he began as part-time for the Recreation Department in 1991 and then full-time in 1997. He worked his way up the ladder and has led the department since 2010. He is a volunteer basketball coach, president of the Middlesex Sports Club, and a member of the National and New Jersey Recreation Parks Association. And welcome back to the show, John.
Thank you, Mayor.
So we have a lot of great things. We have about almost 20 minutes of video feed for this show, and also a lot of things to talk about, some of the things that are going on in the parks, and very robust improvements in our parks that are been underway for the last couple of years and continuing this year and going to continue into next year also in 2020. But more importantly is we have from the groundbreaking, we have video feed from the groundbreaking from our community center, which is probably going to be the most state-of-the-art complex here in central New Jersey, if not in the state, for recreational purposes indoor. I don't know, John, did you want to start off with that? And then I know Councilwoman McCullum is going to jump in about a wellness campaign that she's doing with a walk later on, and she can jump in at any time she wants. Okay. So,
well, with the community center, Mayor, as you know, we've taken a long time to get to this point.
Yep.
And now we're at the point of construction. Everything is being built, and on a timeline that I can't even imagine they're going to that they hold to. And we will have the best community center in New Jersey. There's no question in my mind. Nobody else has 3 pools.
Nope.
And 3 pools with their own filtering systems. So you never have to shut your aquatic center down.
And the interesting thing is, originally it was supposed to be, I believe, one system for everything. And John, and we talked about this at the groundbreaking, how Mr. Dacey, the business administrator, yourself, and me drove down to Virginia Beach to see their aquatic facilities and everything. And it's a good thing that we did, because we picked up some things that we were able to change on our plans that they wish that they had they had a chance to do it over again.
That's correct. They have 6 community centers, and each one they did something a little bit different, and we took what they did at each one and were able to factor it into ours and do everything the right way.
Yeah.
Now, what we're going to open up is going to be state-of-the-art, and everybody's going to get some kind of use out of it. There's going to be something for everybody there.
There's what I like about it, and Councilwoman, just jump in whenever you want. If you're a swimmer, or a kid that's on a swim team, this pool is going to be impressive. So you get up on the block, and it's digitized, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And you step the minute you jump off the block, that starts the clock.
Correct.
And go ahead, Jim.
A quick question about the track. So is it a walking track, or is it a possibility for everyone to run on it as well?
You can run on it and walk on it.
Right.
It's wide enough that we're going to have lanes designated for walkers, but we'll also have lanes that are designated for people that want to run on it. And the other thing we're going to do, in which we learned in Virginia Beach, 3 days of the week you're going to run or walk one way, 4 days of the week you're going to run or walk the other way.
That's good. Balance, right?
Right. It balances the body, not so much the wear on the track.
Right.
So that's why we're going to do that. We learned that down
Yeah,
there.
that was one of the things that they suggested we
Yeah.
do.
I can tell you both of my kids are track runners, so that's important, not only to go in one direction, but to go in the opposite direction as well. So.
But what was very interesting is that they had down in Virginia Beach the one where they had the playground equipment in the water.
Right.
And when they built that site down there, it looks great. But however, what they told us is that the manufacturer never told them that the metal would pit, and that once a year for a whole week they have to shut down the pool, drain it, and they have to spend a whole week polishing the equipment. The manufacturers never told them that there would be that much maintenance involved that they did that.
Right. Yeah, because it wasn't designed with like a marine grade quality metal.
Yeah.
So it's not going to hold up to the rigors of the chlorine and all the other chemicals in the water.
So one of the recommendations that they made to us, don't put any equipment inside the pool.
Right.
Because, because you're draining water, which is expensive. Your manpower and the facility shut down for a week.
The other thing I think I recall you talking about was Wi-Fi, having enough internet access for everyone, right? The facility?
And we will. We saw that in Virginia Beach. They told us their Wi-Fi went down. Ours will never go down because we have so much of it designed into the building that you shouldn't have any problem having Wi-Fi anywhere you are in the building.
Just put it this way, you'll be able to contact the space station.
Yes.
That's how much Wi-Fi. But, it's... if you want a parent want to watch a competition, we're going to have screens up there where there's going to be a look-down camera over the competition pool. It's sort of like what you see at the Olympic Games, where you'll be able to see the swimmers from looking down at the water, which I think is going to be really neat.
Yeah, a bird's eye view camera. Nobody has one of those.
No.
Unless you're maybe a major university.
Yeah.
And we're going to have one, and people are going to love seeing that view.
Yeah, because then you'll be able to look on the wall. You'll be able to see the swimming going on up top. So,
Fantastic.
and plus, the scoreboards and
Right.
things like that, and touch pads, and you'll see some clips when we show it in a few minutes, though. But it was very interesting this past week. On Thursday, they poured 65 loads of concrete for the main flooring of the main competition pool, and they're going to be pouring, I believe, the side walls this week coming.
Yes.
And they're moving pretty quick. They're expected to have, I think, all the concrete work finished up by mid-May.
The one thing I like, too, is as a resident of the township, you can actually watch the building taking place, right? You can watch us build the facility, so I think that's a great opportunity.
You already have some, from what I hear, you already have some TV junkies already watching in the morning. Some of the seniors talked to me about that. They actually go online. They're just looking at while they're having something to eat in the morning, they're looking at the construction workers out there. It's kind of funny. So,
Good.
But it's pretty good though.
Yeah, it's going to be an exceptional site, and I think everybody, once it's open and they get into it for the first time, they're going to realize that all the time and effort that's been spent over the course of 15 or 16 years is going to be well worth it.
Well, one of the, I did a timeline at the groundbreaking of time frame, what it took, and some of the hurdles that we had to go through. And as I look back on that, one of the things I forgot to mention was that there was like an 8-month delay in the building of Stockton Street because of the migratory patterns of the Indiana bat. So even though there wasn't roosting in Piscataway, on a lark that it might be, they couldn't do any clearing for the roadway for 8 months during thing. So I'm not against bats or anything. I mean, they eat the New Jersey bird mosquitoes, which is good. But it was just like incredible how we got delayed for 8 months over the Indiana bat. So, but those are little tidbits of stuff that the general public don't see, the things that we have to deal with the governmental end, that not necessarily going to publicize. But the end game is that I think we pretty much thought almost of every possible conceivable thing to add in there of whatever the latest and greatest is currently out there on the market.
As far as I know, everything we've got in there is as state-of-the-art as it can get, and the contracts we've worked out with some of our vendors, they've guaranteed us that if a new model comes out before we open, we'll have the newer model.
Nice.
And that's even better because the order time in a lot of cases are like 5 months ahead of schedule. Right. If you want to have it on time for when the building's actually physically opened. Even down in Virginia Beach, they were showing us the type of flooring that you probably should get and what flooring you shouldn't get, because they had some others. So we learned in the athletic room areas that where they had problems in one of the buildings and the other ones they thought was holding up pretty good. So they were, I hate to say, Virginia Beach was sort of like a guinea pig for us right there, down there.
Yeah, they definitely were. We learned a lot, and I think in the end, as I said, we're going to get the better deal on it all because we took the time to go look at something else, and most other places wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
No.
It's a worthwhile trip, right?
Yes, and I'm glad and so happy that we got that because we had a long list of changes in there, but fortunately there wasn't anything that was going to create a problem with the architect on there. A lot of it was cosmetic and adding a couple more drains, more ceiling fans, certain type of lighting, certain type of pull-down screen separations for the gym, some seating, different seatings and stuff like that. And And as John said, that even some of the video feed and stuff like that we were adding in. So, but that was good. And then, of course, we're changing. Some changes are happening in the field as they're going along to add minor things that aren't impacting whatsoever. But we do have some video feed. We're talking about the community center. Let's go to that video feed first.
This is an amazing facility that's being built. I looked at the plans. I looked at what's going to be included in here with the pools and the basketball courts and all the different things. It's huge from what I can see. And that's to the credit of this town, to your mayor and council, to your elected officials at the state level and the county level. I have never been, and I can say this because it's really true. I don't think there's any town in the congressional district that does more in terms of providing services to its residents than your town. And somehow they managed to do it by, getting the money from all different sources, federal, state, county. I saw the same thing with the senior center, with the library. I don't know if you realize it, and I'm not saying it because I represent almost 40 towns, but it's really unique, the work that your elected officials put into making sure that services are available that are great for the community.
It's not easy. A lot of issues. The biggest single issue is the money. And over the years, and it's more than a decade now, the mayor has been gathering the money and also the planning, because you know what? You're going to build a facility like this once in your civic lifetime. And I want you to just take a look around. All right, first of all, we have our Piscataway Library and our Piscataway Senior Citizens Center right here. So automatically, all the people who are using those facilities are going to use this facility. Can you see yourself coming here, working out, and going to the library to take out a book? All right, or if you're a senior, same thing, using the facilities, because everything's right here. You can walk to it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
The seeds of this idea date back to all the way to 2004, when Middlesex County gave the Township of Piscataway a grant of $3 million from the Open Space and Recreation Trust Fund for a municipal pool. Since then, the project has grown into communal space that will welcome all kinds of activities. As we break ground on this new site, we look forward to a place where families, friends, neighbors can meet, create, stay active, and enjoy the best Middlesex County has to offer.
The credit needs to go to the residents of this town, because the residents of this town wanted this project. They stuck with this project. They had faith in this project. They had faith in the leaders that were going to get this project done. And it took a long time, and there were a lot of obstacles and a lot of hurdles, but the residents of this town told us, we want this community center done. We trust that you're going to do it right, do it correctly. And to the residents of this town, all 55,000 or so folks, I thank you very much for your support.
The initial thought was, we built this community center, we were going to try to do it without impacting local taxpayers. Now, any local government official knows there's only X amount of money out there in the budget to go around. There is a lot of needs within this community. We have a lot of roads that need to be upgraded, where they were the initial roads that were built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s are now that need reconstruction. You're talking a couple $100 million worth of reconstruction out there over the next 15 years. And we were trying to build this site without impacting the taxpayers. And through the economic development that we currently have underway through these redevelopment sites, those monies, like I said before, are being targeted towards the construction dollars out here. And I want to thank all these companies that took a risk to come to Piscataway, because we're in competition with other communities in other countries for economic development. So I honestly think now, through visiting other community centers, I think we've pretty much incorporated just about everything possible that you can have in here, working with the police department, Homeland Security, social services organizations. This facility will have just about every aspect of what the township residents are going to need, not only currently, but hopefully in the future out there. And I want to thank all the residents of Piscataway for being very patient for such a significant project that is being underway. Well, as you can see on the video feed, things don't work that quickly, but the terminal construction, who is the low bidder, is actually moving at a pretty brisk pace, as we mentioned before. John knows you go to the biweekly meetings over there.
Yeah, I'm at the meetings. I'm trying to be on the site as often as I can, just keeping an eye on what's going on. It's amazing to watch these guys work.
Yeah.
They just get there and go at it.
Yeah, we're very fortunate that even their subs that they have on the job is some of the best subs in the state.
So they're A-team on it.
Yeah.
That's great.
I know.
That's great.
But that's if you want to watch the construction go on. Normally it starts at 7 in the morning, Monday through Friday, up until about 3:30 in the afternoon, and that's go on our municipal website, piscatawaynj.org, and then on the front page you click on live stream. You could see, it's actually the security camera that's out there that we're allowing the public access to see out there. So it's for interest in the police department and everything. It's that nobody gets on the site that should not be on there. So we do have another video feed, and it's on the construction. So let's go to the videotape. So obviously out here, what you're seeing out here is that at this point they were ready to pour the basement. You're going to see the basement, not the basement, but the foundation for the main competition pool. And then like I said, last Thursday they had 65 loads of concrete come in, and then they poured that all in one day. It was pretty impressive. They had a machine out there that can handle one concrete load within 15 minutes. It was crazy. They were just backed up on Stockton, just dropping their loads there. So as we said earlier in the show, they're expecting to have all concrete for the site be poured by the middle of May, definitely by Memorial Day, assuming that the weather cooperates. And they say the steel's going to be delivered, before Memorial Day. So that's where they're pouring. That was the day last Thursday where they were pouring the foundation for the main competition pool. So this week what they're doing is they're going to be building these side walls up of the pool, which are going to be 2.5 feet thick, as you can see right there. So they're putting the panels in this week, and then they're going to pour, I think, this coming Thursday, the 11th. So, but and these are some of the guys that are doing some of the tradespeople out there on the job site. But it's pretty impressive when they have all those concrete trucks lined up and pushing out all that right there for the main thing. And the main flooring of the big pool is about 4 feet, more than 4 feet thick. That's pretty thick, because of the weight of the water. You need it that heavy. So and of course they were putting in the drains out there. The tradespeople putting in the drains for the pool and stuff like that. So, but like I said, today we had a meeting with New Jersey American Water to iron out some of the kinks that are going on. So hopefully that'll all be resolved. And but with that being said, as John knows, that all the utilities are pretty much out there and ready to go. So is a big part of the problem that's allowing this construction site to proceed very quickly.
Right.
So one of the other things, I know a lot of residents are still interested in purchasing bricks, right? So
Yes.
they can still do that. They can just come down to
And believe it or not, we're getting a lot of contributions coming in within the last week and a half.
Great.
People are coming in, because people are seeing the actual construction, and once the steel goes up, you'll be able to see over where the fabric is, where the wind barrier, so to speak. But that'll be exciting. So when we have a topping off party, well, probably sometime in June.
Right.
So somebody's probably saying, well, what's a topping off party? That's when the last piece of steel gets joined up at the very top, and normally, typically, whoever's job site, you get to write your name on a piece of steel that goes up. So,
Okay.
so which is pretty good. John, anything else about the community center?
No, I think we've gone
Yeah,
through
we're going to be
what we've got at
talking about
point,
this
yeah.
for the next year.
Right.
Almost every week in the show, though. But, I just want to let the folks know out there. I know there were some armchair critics, which is fine. It's okay to be critical of the government. That's, this is democracy. But, it just didn't happen overnight. As I said in the groundbreaking with the timeline, there was about 10 years worth of planning that went into this facility here.
So, Brian, one of the things, it may have taken a while, but the one thing that I can say that I do like about it is that we're not hitting the taxpayers, right,
Yeah.
for the building of the structure. So I
It's
think
a
that's
big,
huge.
Big deal, and that was one of the things when we tried to undertake this back in 2004, and that was the thought process to try to do that. And it's not too often that you get a government entity that just tries to undertake something of this size and not have the taxpayers impacted. I mean, we could have bonded years ago for that and had it come out of the general property taxes to pay for the debt service, but in this case, because of the corporations that have moved in town, they're going to be paying for the debt service and the actual construction on it. So, because we do have a lot of competing, as I said, in the groundbreaking. There's, we have a lot of roads we need to get reconstructed around town. We're going to go in and talk about some of our parks. Maybe we could cue that up now. That's a good segue in. So let's cue up some of the video feed and pictures of some of the parks that we're currently underway to reconstruct. This is Suskin Park, which is named after the late Jeffrey Suskin, who was the 4th Ward councilman. And this is a visual of what the playground's going to look like. And this is the Deborah Drive, what we finally call the Tot Lot, but it's a park. And on all these parks currently, I guess we're projecting to have them finished by the middle of June of this year, the 4 parks, the Albert Street Park. And then all the site work's pretty much finished in all the parks now, all the concrete and the walkways and even the park benches and the garbage receptacles are all in there. And this is Newmarket Park. And this one's done in conjunction with the reconstruction of Cassuth Street, which is, so we're trying to finish up Newmarket Park first, so it's not going to impact with the Cassuth Street reconstruction. So it's a little, it's not just one contractor in there. We're dealing with the reconstruction of the street and the utility companies, the overheads. As John knows, it's way more involved than it is.
Yeah, we've had to deal with, obviously the recreation department's dealing with our engineering department with the construction because of Cassuth Street and some issues where we had some fence lines that had to be adjusted. And of course the planning department's involved with this as well. So it's everybody working together to make things better for us.
In the Public Works Department, there's a little lot with some older trees there that need to be cleaned up right there. We're going to try to get that in there before the park's finished. And so when that's done, then, they're just reconstructing the road. And that's going to be really nice because you'll be able to go from Old New Brunswick down to Terrace Court on a sidewalk on both sides with the park right there. So parents, if they have a stroller with their child, will be able to use a stroller to go take their kids to the park. And one of the things that we're going to be doing in that park, we're going to be installing security cameras.
Correct.
Out there in that park, because in the past we did have some vandalism in there on the soccer fences and stuff like that. So with the amount of resources that we're spending on reconstructing some of these municipal parks, as part of that component, we are installing security cameras to hopefully prevent vandalism from happening. And a part of it's an education process, because a lot of times it's just kids, being kids, and they don't realize that the destructive nature of some of the costs. And, I'd rather have an education process where, hey, listen, this is not a norm. You shouldn't be doing this. Right. And that, we have to protect our investment. So.
Right. And it's good for security, right?
That's
People
right.
realize that there are cameras
More
out
importantly,
there.
it's good for security,
That's right.
too. So we got another video feed. I believe it's from the Little League opener, so let's go to that.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 2019 Piscataway T-Ball Little League Opening Day.
Okay, I'm going to read the Little League pledge. I trust in God, I love my country, and will respect its laws. I will play fair and strive to win, but win or lose, I will always do my best. Little League Parent Volunteer Pledge. I will teach all children to play fair and do their best. I will positively support all managers, coaches, and players. I will respect the decisions of the umpires. I will praise a good effort despite the outcome of the game.
With that, I want to congratulate all the participants out here and thank all the coaches and the volunteers out in Little League. That makes this a great place to have a venue here. So, and congratulations, Little League. And everybody's going to win, right? Everybody's going to win. There's no losers out here. So.
Really? It was low salt pork roll.
Were you sharing it with Capil? Because he was looking like he wanted some.
No, I ate that whole thing myself. Sorry about that. It's not official until I eat a pork roll sandwich over this.
That's right.
But I just want to let the record refer to John Tierney. We were just watching the video feed. That was in the strike zone, right?
That was definitely a strike.
It was out the outside corner of the plate.
Caught the corner.
Had the catcher caught it right there. It would definitely been a strike.
No question about it.
Okay.
I'm glad I didn't have to follow you up this year.
Yeah. The funny thing is, let's go to, we'll go to the next video. Let's go to the next video feed to see Piscataway High School baseball teams open. So this was taken over at the Columbus Park, and actually the Public Works Department and our landscape architect actually did some work over there on that ball field this year.
We replaced the pitcher's mound and the home plate areas this year.
Oh, I know. Now, see, I didn't even, I got like 2 feet from the plate and it bounced. But I think I redeemed myself on a Little League mound.
You definitely did.
Yeah, so. But that game there, the Piscataway High School team, Mr. Key's team won 14-7 over Perth Amboy that day. Right there. It was opening day, and they're good. They seem to be at home on that field out there.
Yeah, well, they all grew up playing on that field through the recreational league, so it seemed like a good idea to have them play their high school games there.
Well, one of the things our Henry Hinter's team right now, and as I spoke with the baseball coach, is that one of the things for next year we're looking to possibly put a nice. We had a wire when we did the addition out there, the building. We had put underground conduit for a scoreboard.
Oh, great!
Nice scoreboard out there, and then some other amenities out there. So I think we were looking at possibly new bleachers out there for next year and a new concrete pad. So he's going to take a look at that.
What
get
about
the price.
Night games?
Well, they could if they want because there's lighting out there.
That's good.
There's lighting out there, but I think that would really cap off that field out there for hardball. So, but they all love the Columbus Park Pavilion right there, and it's a nice place. I know the Parents Auxiliary, at the end of the season and last game, they have a big picnic out there.
They have senior night, and they have their picnic after the game, and they really enjoy it. And a lot of their Saturday games now, the parents are all packing lunches, and because this game starts at 10 in the morning, they're done by 12:30. They all stay under the pavilion and have lunch together.
Have lunch. So
it's beautiful.
Which is the whole idea why we're investing in the parks and recreation and things like that for, whether you have a kid in the school system and or playing in one of the rec sports. I mean, it's even for seniors or anybody. I know last week when we were out after the ribbon cutting or the groundbreaking this week, we went out and there were some people playing pickleball down in Kugeltown Park.
Pickleball is like the hottest sport in the country right now.
Yeah.
The amount of pickleball players doubles almost every year right now.
Well, we're all getting older. That's why. That's like an old man sport right there, John.
I'm not going to say you're getting older, Mayor. I'll just say that it's a good sport for anybody of any age. How about that?
Yeah, it looks like so. We have another video feed. We have the middle school basketball, and John, you can jump in on this one.
Yeah, this was our middle school basketball finals. This is our 6th, 7th grade game. This was a fantastic game. It's probably one of the best in my years of working for the recreation department.
Close game?
Close game. Won on a last-second shot.
Wow.
This is one of the few times I was not able to make it for the championship game.
And it was, like I said, it was action the whole
Was that
way.
the shot there?
That wasn't the shot there. The shot was a little bit later. I think we do have video of it.
Right, this is the one where all the kids start running over.
Yeah.
So somebody must have hit the shot.
They hit the shot, and everybody runs on the floor because the game ran out on that shot.
Those are the best games when they're close like that.
Yeah. That was the shot right there, and everybody's on the floor.
Is that Frank MacArthur's team?
That's Frank MacArthur. He's still 26 years now.
Yeah, is he the dean of the coaches?
No, actually, Roy Bell has him, I think, by 4 years.
By 4 years, yeah.
And this is the 8th grade championship game. This game was up and down, but for the most part, it was a good game. Wasn't so much a good game for me since I was coaching the team that didn't win.
Who's coaching it? Rick Lynch was the other coach in the 6th, 7th?
No, actually, Rick is coaching this team right here.
Oh, he's coaching this team. He's from the 8th grade.
Yeah, the 8th grade.
Yeah.
We just saw you, John. I just saw you.
I'm trying to figure out how to stop Rick's team, and I wasn't having a whole lot of success.
So he actually finally got a winning team. He's been to the dance a couple times in the
Yeah.
finals, and I just haven't come away with a victory.
He finally got his win this year.
Yeah. So his team beat Roy Bell's team?
Yep.
Yeah. Roy's always in the hunt in his team.
Every year.
No, you know what? I got to tell you, I'm really thankful that the parents, like some of the volunteer coaches and all these rec programs, I mean, they've had their kids have been out, obviously are grown adults, have their own grandchildren right now, and all these coaches are still volunteering time out there. And you know what? Sometimes you might hear somebody being critical of the programs. I'm thinking, well, you're not volunteering. You know, just
These are great programs.
Yeah.
I remember I was a teenager and I was actually keeping score and at the table. It was great. I mean, it's something.
And we
that-
have some of the former high school basketball players now that are coaches too.
Yeah.
The
it's nice.
gentleman that won the 6th, 7th grade championships, a former player.
Yeah.
And he came back a few years ago to coach. Now he's got a championship too.
Fantastic.
See, it's all in the family. And we got another video feed, not of recreation, but we're going to go to the DARE graduation that took place over at Quibbletown School this past week.
Give me a D. Give me an A. Give me an R. Give me an E. What's that spell? All right. It's my pleasure to be able to speak to such a bright group of DARE graduates. The DARE program is one of the finest programs we run, and thanks to Mayor Waller and the Town Council, we're able to continue to provide this valuable and extremely successful program. Knowledge is power, boys and girls. Through your instruction, you've been empowered. Empowered to make choices for yourselves and empowered to help others. Detective Lachlan and Detective Myers taught you about peer pressure and about the dangers of drugs and alcohol. But they also taught you about making good choices. Good choices not only for yourself, but also good choices when it comes to other people. The shirts you wear are a symbol of what you have learned. You now have the knowledge to influence others. So if you see a friend going down the wrong path in life, and you have been empowered now to help them out, to guide them to make better choices, and when needed, to ask an adult to help you get your friend back on the right path.
Do you know how dangerous alcohol, tobacco, and drugs are? Some very young kids are also trying it because of the impression of other kids. But there's a solution for that, the DARE program. DARE stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. I feel that DARE program is really useful this generation. DARE is a really good program to tell or teach kids to stay away from drugs, alcohol, and tobacco, and their users. It is a program to tell kids that all of those stuff is not safe. I like how DARE is not just about drugs. It also tells about how to make good choices. The DARE decision making is define, assess, respond, evaluate. I know why not to do drugs because drugs, alcohol, or tobacco because they are bad for your health. There are about 75,000 alcohol-related deaths in the USA each year. 2 health effects of alcohol is memory loss and slow reflexes. Alcohol slows down the brain and the body. There are more than 400,000 tobacco-related deaths in the USA each year. Tobacco can cause heart disease, and smoking can cause yellow teeth and drier skin to cause wrinkles. There are more than 200 known chemicals in cigarettes. If you use alcohol or tobacco after you know these facts, you should stop now. I think that it is important to stay drug-free and avoid violence because it's not useful in life. Drugs can cause so many problems for the body. I think you should stay away from violence because they might influence you to do drugs, alcohol, or even tobacco. After all, I feel that DARE program has a really good effect in people who do take part in violence and drugs. DARE is a really good program. I would also like to say thank you to Detective Calvin and all the other DARE officers for teaching us, the kids, all about DARE and how to stay safe.
I want to also, that was the Arbor School graduates, and now we have the MLK graduates. We're going to go to that video feed.
Welcome to our 2019 Martin Luther King School DARE ceremony. The DARE program is a cooperative effort of the Piscataway Police Department and the Piscataway Township Schools to educate our youth on the prevention of drug abuse and violence. During the DARE program, we discussed the importance of decision making. We spoke about what DARE stood for. We also had lessons on peer pressure, bullying, and ways to report bullying. We also talked about the risks and health effects from the use of tobacco and alcohol and other drugs, all right, and how those drugs affect the way the mind and body work. I told my students that every decision has a consequence, and before they make a decision, they need to stop and think. The students have taken a positive stand to resist drugs and violence and has made a commitment to do so. The students have participated in the essay and poster contests.
To the parents out there, I want to thank you for being involved with your children. This is one of the great programs that the municipal government has an opportunity to work in tandem with the school district and allowing our uniform officers to come in and work with our DARE participants here. And for the DARE graduates, I want to thank you for being involved and working with your teachers here, along with Officer Myers, about some of the dangers that you may face moving forward in life.
DARE taught me all about the bad things that alcohol does for you. You might see alcohol around your state, city, or even in your house, but it's not good for you or anybody. People think it does great things for them, but in reality, it has no benefits. Alcohol causes loss of coordination, poor judgment, and memory loss to anyone who abuses it. It also causes loss of self-control, slow reflexes, and can damage every organ in your body. Knowing this is important because now that I know, I will never consume alcohol, knowing all of the bad things that it does for you. DARE also taught me about the different types of peer pressure. Teasing peer pressure. This type of peer pressure is the type that involves people trying to get another person to do something bad by hurting their feelings. Positive peer pressure. This type of peer pressure is all about encouraging people to do good things. Knowing all of this will help me make a commitment to never do drugs, smoke, or consume alcohol. I know doing it is wrong, and I will never do it, and I hope nobody else starts. Thank you.
Give me a D. Give me an A. Give me an R. Give me an E. What's that spell? I think the parents had to put earmuffs on when the kids screaming right there. But I want to thank the Piscataway Police Department working with the Piscataway School System staff over there, both those schools over there with the DARE participants there this year. They were very good, very appreciative of that, and I thank the parents for being involved with the kids right there. That's what counts. We are going to go to some announcements. The cleanup day for Piscataway is this weekend. Community-wide cleanup litter day is Saturday, April 13th. Be part of the Piscataway Clean Team led by Councilmember Michelle Lombardi. We already have over 500 volunteers signed up, and if you're not registered for the event, you could still show up at the Little League fields at 9 a.m. and we will be given a location where you can help. Also, the Easter egg hunt will be held that same day. Piscataway is putting on an annual Easter egg hunt sponsored by the Piscataway local PBA on Saturday, April 13th at 1 p.m. Bring your children up to ages 11. Piscataway Little League fields on Sydney Road. Hunt for eggs and meet the Easter Bunny. There will be candy and prizes. And by the way, when they say it goes off at 1 o'clock, it goes off at 1 o'clock, and it's done and over with in like 1 minute. The Walk to End Hunger. Sign up now for Saturday, April 27th. It's sponsored by Feeding Middlesex County and will raise funds for county's emergency food network and local food pantries. The event is from 9 a.m. to noon in Grove 5 in Johnson's Park. And if you want to find the registration on the address shown on your screen on the township website. The Jordan Art Show for the month of May will be held May 3rd and 4th. All work will be displayed in Town Hall for the rest of the month. Winners will be announced at a reception on Friday, May 10th. Entry forms and prospectus will be posted on the township website. And last but not least, Councilwoman Chanelle McCullum presents our annual Walk Health Day on the 25th, and we're going to let her talk a little bit about that on that day. So we're going to, now that concludes our announcements, why don't you go into the walk?
Okay, so this is our first annual walk. It will be on Saturday, May 25th. I just want to mention that it's a free walk. We're asking our residents to come out and actually walk for your own health. Registration is at piscatawaynj.org/recreation. If you go on, we're only asking you for 4 items to register: your first name, your last name, your email address, and your phone number. Really, really quick. The day of the event, check-in will start at 7:30. It's a 5K. The walk will start promptly at 8:30. We expect that most people will be finished in 2 hours. Mm-hmm. We'll start out. It's at Grove number 4. So if you're coming,
and if it takes me 2 hours to walk 3 miles, I'm doing something wrong.
Well, most people, it'll probably take you about an hour or so.
Okay.
But just in case you're a slow walker, we're going to give you up until 2 hours or so to actually finish it. So if you're coming down River Road, you'll make a right onto Violet Drive, park your car at Grove number 4, and we're going to head north towards Landing Lane Bridge and come back around, and we'll end back at Grove number 4 again.
Okay.
So really easy to register. We're hoping people will come out. And again, it's at piscatawaynj.org/recreation, and you can just go on and register. Looking forward to everyone coming out.
Yeah, and John, your department's helping with it.
We're helping with the walk itself. I think it's a good idea. I think anytime you can get out and get some exercise,
It sounds like part of the mayor's wellness campaign.
It sure is.
Between you and Councilwoman Lombardi being terrorized by the wellness campaign.
This is a good thing. Good thing.
So I guess eating a pork roll sandwich on TV doesn't help matters.
No.
Okay.
So you're definitely going to have to be out there walking.
I think I'm going to come to the walk and eat a pork roll sandwich as I'm walking. Just to bug you. You had another question?
Yeah, a lot of residents are talking about the ecological park. I know we had a town hall last year where people came out and they let us know what they were looking for in the park. But if you could give us just an update in terms of where we are with the park.
Okay, the latest and greatest as of last week, we did hire a CME engineering to come up with the environmental remediation plan out there. They're still in the process of doing that. Because that has to be submitted to a judge in court, because the responsible parties are the prior owners who are on the hook for cleaning it up, the standards, because it's going to be a park. So pretty much I believe the back 30 acres is where the problems are back there environmentally. So that's where the silo used to be.
Right.
But, we're hoping within the next 4 to 5 months the plan will be done, be vetted by the court, and hopefully this will all be resolved by the end of the year, and that maybe we can have a contract drawn up sometime in spring of next year to start the remediation. It'll probably take a good year to remediate that property, because they're going to be hauling a heck of a lot of soil off the property that has to be that's contaminated. So and then you had to bring clean soil back in, and so but that'll be another thing that Henry Hinterstein obviously will be working with John Tierney on.
Yes. We'll be working closely on that project as well.
Now, if you want to talk about a walking path that's going to be out there, that's going to be a real walking path that'll eventually be out there.
Maybe we could have the walk in that park next year.
We could do, once that park is done, we'll be able to have a walk there, yes.
Yeah.
No question about it.
John,
it'll be a lot bigger than Johnson's Park.
I think John's going to be pretty busy over the next couple of years.
That's okay. I like it that way.
Yeah. But, it's just like when it comes to that, I mean, there was a lot of things that Henry Hinterstein had drafted, ideas of what should happen, but ultimately it's going to be a decision what the courts are going to allow out there, and depending upon what the remediation plan is. And we were able to do the demos of all the structures on the site, but we didn't take the foundations out until we get a sign off from a judge to do that. So I'm hoping at some point we'll get that and get that moving along. But
and I think we should also remind the residents this is a passive park. It's not an active park where we
there'll
can
be
play
no ball
softball.
fields
That's
out
right.
there. So no soccer fields or anything like that. This is a lot of bikeways, arboretums, possibly a dog park, but don't hold me down. We got to check with the insurance carriers on that. A couple other items out there, but we'll see. Well, it depends upon what the environmental study says. Okay, that's the key. So we won't be able to do anything. So we do have another video feed of a event that happened at the Piscataway JFK Library. So let's go to the video feed.
My name is Heidi Kramer. I'm the director of the Piscataway Public Library, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our 5th annual New Jersey Makers Day. We appreciate you all gathering at this moment so we can have a ribbon cutting and grand opening of our newly expanded and relocated MIY, Make It Yourself, Makerspace.
I'm not new for this library. I'm in this town for 38 years, and 16 years I'm a board of trustee here until 2001 to 16. A lot of changing in this building also, I saw that, and we are great now. It's the first library we start this program. And I want to say good luck to you guys. Great job.
Okay, that was one of them. Then we had some, as always, there's always something going on at the senior center. Let's go to that video too. So the seniors obviously were celebrating a lot. It was Lunar New Year for the South Asian folks in our community. And they had a very nice band there, right there, and some dancers. And you know what? For a nice site, this is one of the larger senior citizen centers in central New Jersey. But there is a lot of volunteer programs that go on at that facility. So if you're a senior 55 and over, you know, you just sign up. I mean, you don't necessarily have to come every day, but you know, if you're capable or you're in 60s, and obviously the St. Patrick's Day festivities, but stop on by. That's what these government programs are all about, is to keep you actively involved, and you meet several of your neighbors or your fellow residents within the you know, the township, and that's what's important about these programs here, because the truth of the matter is, if nobody's going to be showing up at the programs, then we have to look, you know, maybe we might have to shift resources elsewhere if the people aren't going to be. This was a Women's Day event that was held at the senior center, and I do know, I think you were over there, right, Chanelle?
Yeah,
you were over at the
but it was a packed house.
Packed house, yeah. But very, you could see it. It is a packed. It looks like every seat is taken out there. So, but I want to thank Amy Bauman and the rest of her staff over there for helping organize a lot of these events. And I know Councilman Jim Ballard's very actively involved over there with the programming. So, you know, please just join, sign up. Yeah, we encourage residents to sign up for it, just like with the recreation department.
Sure. We offer all these great programs. We need people to keep them going.
Yeah, and you know, outside and online. And there's another last clip. It was in conjunction with the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce. This was called the Meet the Mayors program. It was held over at Rutgers University, Livingston campus. Obviously, you had Mayor Cahill of New Brunswick, Mayor Mac Womack of North Brunswick, and the newest mayor, Charlie Carley of South Brunswick. So, but everybody was talking a little bit about their community in front of the business community down there, and but it was kind of funny that Charlie Carley's only been mayor like for about less than 2 months, and so he's a new kid on the block, so to speak. But very well attended for a morning breakfast down at the university. And I want to thank the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring that. And I know they, too, have a lot of events throughout the year to try to help the business community. So you had another question?
Yes, so we're doing a lot of road projects. So there's a right off of my street, Zirkle Avenue, so you can give us an update on Zirkle.
Zirkle Avenue. Mm-hmm. I believe in conjunction with the Middlesex County Engineering Department, the board chosen freeholders, they are going to be reconstructing that very, very old culvert right there up at the top of Wickley, Zirkle, and in conjunction with that, we had executed an agreement with the engineering firm that did the design of the culvert to reconstruct the entire length of Zirkle Avenue. So from what I hear is I think they're expecting to be out to bid sometime over the summer and mobilize it in the fall to start the reconstruction of both the street and the culvert bridge. So, you know, obviously we'll let the neighborhood know when we get to that point out there. And you had another question.
What about Park Avenue? Because I know that's
Park
one that people
Avenue,
are asking about a lot.
The DPW will be milling and paving, or actually, strike that. Our engineering department, public engineering department down in the community development, will be replacing some of the curbing out on Park Avenue from between Stockton Street to Cook's Deli on Ludlow. And then once that's finished, then DPW in-house will go and mill and pave Park Avenue, the worst section, and then the following year, in 2020, we'll look to do the rest. Okay. But that's in conjunction, like Birch Run Drive, we're going to do that section by the railroad crossing right there. And then from the 2018 list, we're going to be doing over spring break, Easter break, when the school system's out, we're going to be doing Birch Run Drive, the balance of Birch Run Drive. And then I believe they're going to be starting the block work for Lakeview Avenue, John, right by the park.
Right.
The reason why that was left like that over the winter is because it got too cold for PSE&G to finish everything out. Now that PSE&G's out of there, replacing all the gas lines, we're going to finish the curb work, and then PSE&G is going to come and mill and pave everything. So that area should be done. And in conjunction, we're doing some improvements down in Columbus Park right there.
Right
by the
there
dam.
on the Ernie Day overlook there. We're rebuilding the entire parking lots. We'll put some nice gazebo space there. The overlook will be cleaned up a little bit. It's going to be a great place for people just to come and look over the pond at
That
night.
is becoming a really nice. A lot more and more people are coming down to along the waterfront there to really use it. They're going to having their picnics. I mean, I know we have this, music in the park during the summer, but now more and more people are using it, especially prom day when the students in high school are going to get their pictures.
There's nothing like it. I mean, people couldn't find a spot before. Now everyone's there the day of the prom to take their pictures. It's great. And now we have the 2 gazebos out there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. South Avenue, meeting with the engineering today. They have about 2 months' worth of work left to that project. It's a little tricky because you're dealing with Middlesex Borough and the contractors and things like that. So we're hoping by sometime middle of June, that project will be finished. In other words, the second worst road in both Middlesex Borough and Piscataway will have been reconstructed.
Okay.
And then we also have School Street underway. We're projected to finish that around first or second week of June out there. And then obviously Cassuth Street, as we spoke about earlier, is underway now. But there's a lot of projects going on. And I think Joe Herrera's shop is engineering they're going to put out the bid Water Street over there by School Street when they're just about finished with School Street. So there's a lot of moving parts out there. And then we're expecting next year to get Brotherhood Street out and that's on top of all the 25 streets that DPW is going to be doing this year that you're going to see the block work. We awarded that contract. So just pay attention to our Facebook and our website, and you'll see all the latest and greatest, and as well as the parks and things like that going on. John, do you want to add anything else with some of the programming?
Just that we're, springtime, baseball, softball starting up. We're always looking for more players. We can always put them on the teams, coaches, volunteers, everything.
Softball, you're talking about adult softball?
Adult softball, youth softball. We don't turn anybody away because recreation is for everybody. So if somebody wants to sign up, we'll find somewhere for them to play.
The softball league, especially down at Columbus Park under the lights, it's become very popular down there.
Yes, it has.
It allowed the flexibility with the lights is that if some people don't get out of work until 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, they could go down and have a 7:30 game. Be down there and finish up before 9:30 and get home, take a shower, and go to bed.
Right.
Get ready to go to work. That's one of the flexibility with that park.
Well, with all our softball fields, and that we've got lights
also
on.
over in Quibbletown Park too. So, but and then they do that down at Riverside Park too.
Yeah, we have 4 different leagues that play at Riverside Park now.
It's if you ever get a chance during when the full swing, and I know Councilwoman, you've been down there, that it's amazing how crowded these parks are at night when these leagues are in session. There's not one parking stall that you can get. And you know what? That was the whole idea why we built these amenities. And so how many teams do you have in softball?
In our softball leagues, we have 5 on one night, 4 on a night, and I think we have 7 on another night. Plus a league that we co-sponsor, I think there's 15 teams.
Wow, that's
a lot.
So
that's a lot. That's a lot of teams.
That's a lot of teams, and we're one of the last towns that still has any kind of softball left for adults.
Yeah.
Most places don't have it anymore.
Well, it's kind of funny. A lot of people that used to work at Piscataway at the heyday of the corporate buildings, a lot of these companies just have corporate teams, and that's what they always remember, to go down to Riverside Park and playing over there on their company teams like Colgate or whomever down there. That was like a big thing with a lot of these companies, even though some of these people may not have lived in the town, but they worked within the community, and that's one of the things that they always remember about working at Piscataway. They had a great softball. Both men and women's softball leagues.
Yeah, they came right from work, played, and could be home by, as you said, 9 o'clock or so.
9 o'clock, because we had lights out there. See, most towns that they don't have the lights, they have the games immediately, starting at like 5 o'clock, and you're done before dusk. And a lot of times people just couldn't get out to the games. Right. So, but we're slowly making improvements. So we spoke earlier today about the 4 parks that are underway, and they're projected to all be finished by the middle of June at the latest. And I think the color coding of the tennis court at Perrine Park will probably take some time after Memorial Day, I think.
Yeah, because you have to go to a certain temperature for a few hours for the color code to adhere properly. So it needs to be above 80 degrees generally for a span of about 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be right after Memorial Day they'll get it color coded and done.
Yeah, you needed that real nice hot weather. I got to tell you, that park turned out to look really nice, especially with that adult fitness center.
She's great.
You go over there now, and it's amazing. You see the dynamics. You see the parents on the equipment, and then they can see their kids on the playground.
Right.
It's good. It's something for everybody to do.
Yeah.
So you're not just there, pushing your kid. You can enjoy your
And
children and exercise at the same time.
And that was a park that got an expanded amenity. They got a basketball court.
Yeah, we put a basketball court in there last year.
Which was never there. And then this weekend, after I was coming back from 4:30 Mass, I drove by. There must have been about 10 kids on the basketball court. And, then you had about 4 or 5 adults on the playground equipment. Then you had about 10 kids over in the playground area, and which was good. So everybody was using all the equipment. And then, they had their cars parked, and then they had the bicycles parked, and, right in the rack. So, the way it was designed, people are using the amenities.
They love the parks. If they can't play basketball at Perrine, they'll go over to Tara.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot to do, and the people appreciate it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Now we do. I just want to remind the viewers, the Department of Public Works is out there filling potholes. So if you see a pothole, just pick up the phone and call 732-562-2390. That's the main number for Public Works. They've been working 6 days a week filling the potholes now that the asphalt plants are open, and they're even working on Saturdays to catch up with the added list that's the toll it took over the winter. So please just don't get aggravated about a pothole. Unless we know about it, we can't fill it. So feel free to call Public Works, or you can call my office at 732-562-2305, or you can call Chanelle. Right, she knows how to write down a pothole.
That's right, 732-878-2854.
Yeah, right down there. So, John, you got anything last?
No, thank you, Mayor, for having me on the show again, though.
No, and I just, and also we're still accepting contributions for the community center, and just stay tuned. So we look forward to seeing everybody in May, in the first week of May, when we have our program.